and exclusive on Supreme TV and Supreme TV YouTube and Supreme TV Facebook.
And electing to have a bowl first, and they've batted first in both their games so far. Well, these two, they were very impressive at the top of the order for the Americans. In their previous game, Otley hitting it to all parts and Erasmus joining in the fun. So the Aussies will be hoping to try and make inroads early, get through one of these two, make that breakthrough early, because we know how destructive they can be at the top of the order. Well, a few clouds in the distance there, and there you see it. Gerard Erasmus and Kieran Otley at the top of the innings there. They're very impressive with bat in hand. And they bat quite far down, and then you've got the likes of Sheldon Cottrell down in there, Matula Khan with the ball in hand. And the Aussies, well, up the top there, Riman Dar and Ben Cutting, who seems to be okay today after he was struggling a little injury yesterday. He managed to play through it and scored a well-earned 22. Simi Singh, he was the best of the batters yesterday for the Aussies. But right now, it's about the Aussies with the ball. It'll be Erasmus to face up first, Otley at the non-strikers, and there's a slip in, attacking from the off, and it looks like they're going to be kicking off with some pace, the Aussies. Just measuring out that run-up. Pleased to say my partner in crime is back alongside me. We've just about recovered from this morning, haven't we?
Well, that was the most entertaining match of the season thus far. Premium Windies within 2 runs of victory. Premium Afghans getting Hayden Walsh out with an over to go. And it was very strange scenes as we tried to keep track of him on the drone until he disappeared into the woodlands, but we've managed to find him again as this match is up and running. Full ball on the legs, clipped away through the wicket with his misfield for 1, and the Americans are off of the 0. Gerard Erasmus opening the batting today. I think he was batting in the middle in the first 2 games that they played.
Yeah, and alongside Otley, who was destructive in their previous game. It was an interesting one, though, the Americans batting in their last game. They set off absolutely flying and then really slowed down in the second half.
Well, Otley absolutely took down the bowling of the Premium Packs in that last match when they got off to that flying start. He'll be looking to do more of the same here today. Pitch has gotten a lot better, and so he'll be hoping to score even quicker here today, off the mark straight away as well.
Yeah, nice to just get off the mark first ball. You know it's not going to be a blob to your name. And now Erasmus can be eyeing up those boundaries with the fielding restrictions in. And a bonus run. Well, the Aussies winning the toss and choosing to have a bowl, and to change for them. They've batted first and lost both games so far. And that's up in the air. That's massive. It's heading off into the field, and Erasmus, no hanging about for him.
Well, this is a match similar to the match that we just witnessed, where the Premium Americans are already on the board and Premium Aussies are 0-2 and would desperately need to find a victory here today to give themselves any chance of staying in contention for qualifying for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're sitting at the bottom of that table at the moment. I guess their takeaway is that they did improve massively going into their second game, but not that difficult when you're trying to build off 38 all out in their first. And the ball has been found and returned, much like Hayden Walsh Jr. we think.
Well, we've got a lovely aerial shot here from the drone. Moosa Cricket Stadium here in Houston, Texas.
Well, he's taken a tumble and just holding his ankle.
Man down. He's hit it straight back at the bowler. Wasn't able to get out the way of it. Seems to have hit it straight on the ankle. I'm not sure that the players around him should be attending to him. Hopefully there's not too much serious damage that has been done there. Bowler seems to be in quite a bit of discomfort. So physio is now out onto the field. Gerard Erasmus middling that one, I must say.
Yeah, he can hit a heavy ball, and when it hits you straight on the flush like that, that's going to hurt. He's done well to save the boundary, perhaps, but at what cost? Well, I like to think his teammate isn't covering his mouth by gasping. He's just got his hand in that position. Oh, look at how it started there. Erasmus launching it over the long on boundary, rocketing him up to 7 from just 3 deliveries.
Well, it would be the last thing that the premium Aussies need, is to have the opening bowler go down within the first over, because then that leaves them 3 overs in the lurch. But he seems to be okay. He's back up, shaking it off. Strong boy. Skipper's suggesting some field changes to him, a long on and deep mid wicket, but seems to be grimacing and in a bit of discomfort still.
It's going to be a nice colour later, that bruise. Well, he's still hobbling a little bit as he heads back to his mark, but managed to get in and bowl that one. He's only got to survive one more delivery in this over and he can have a rest. Direct hit, and he could be gone.
Didn't slide the bat, so that could be tight.
I think the umpire has made the decision that he's home and safe, but yeah, as you say, didn't slide the bat. Rule number 1 of running between the wickets. Well, 11 on the board after the first over. 11 without loss. That big 6 off the bat of the South African.
Well, we're going to have left arm spin to open the bowling from this end. Assad the bowler.
It's a good start from the spinner, so operating spin at one end, pace from the other. Spin has really ruled the roost in this tournament so far, barring Ahmad Butt yesterday taking his 5 for the premium Indians. Well, this is what they want. Keep them quiet at the top. We know Otley likes to go big and go early and get himself up and running, but just the 2 from 4 for him. Well, he's going to change that there.
That's gone all the way for 6. It's Cian Otley back into the swing of things here again today. Bit of a slow start. Had a look at the first few balls. Now he's got the measure of things. First 6 for Cian Otley here today. Walking across his stumps and slug sweeping that. Score moves on to 17. And he'll fancy himself against left arm spin.
Struck on the pad. Appeal for the LBW. Umpire says no. Some enthusiastic voices outside our commentary box, cheering every ball. It's gone up in the air. Fielder calling it. He's under it. Takes the catch, and that is the end of Otley. Well, he goes 6, and then he's out. He could be so dangerous, but Assad has his man.
Well, that's a big breakthrough, as Cian Otley has proven to be the batter that's had the highest stroke rate of this tournament thus far. And so to get rid of him in only the second over is a huge blow for the premium Aussies, who would hoping at the end of this match to be adding 2 points to the Italian, get onto the board. Still got Gerard Erasmus there, but they'd be happy to see the back of Cian Otley here today.
Yeah, especially as he looked like he was just trying to take on the bowling. He hit that first 6. And then the comeback from the bowler is just what shows when you're a real pro. You don't let that get to you. And he just skewed it up in the air. Fielder made no mistake. Well, that brings Navanpreet Singh out to the middle to join Erasmus. And the drone just giving us that view. Can you spot Hayden Walsh Jr., anyone? Is he out there? Farming the land. This glorious area here in Houston, Texas. Well, the back of Otley is just what the Aussies would have wanted to see early, and that's just what they've got.
And that would have been an important blow as well, because normal skipper of the Premium Americans, Nevin Stewart, who's also an aggressive player, we saw pull up with an injury to what seems to be his hamstring, and he's not in the 11 for today's encounter. So that takes away a huge proportion of ball beating options for the Premium Americans here today. Hence why we would have seen the promotion of Gerard Erasmus to opening the batting today.
Well, they're still going along at an all right lick. 17 for 1 after 2 overs. But yes, that key wicket to fall there. And missing some ball bashing power in the captain. Well, change in bowler after that strike on the ankle, unsurprisingly. Laksh Parekh won't be taking this over. But still sticking with spin at one end and pace at the other. it's Sanchit Sandhu who's taking over responsibilities.
Well, this is an interesting field set for Sanchit with a long on and a deep mid wicket, something that we've become more accustomed to seeing from the off spinners and the left arm spinners in the power play. So he'll be looking to stay within the line of the stumps here, force Gerard Erasmus to clear those two men in the deep.
He's picked the gap nicely. Slow outfield, and so it'll just be one. Thought about coming back for the second. The wind just picking up again out here. Sun had come out, but the clouds have come over a little. I mean, nothing is dulling the colour of that Aussie kit. Just adjusting the field. Sending the man at point out onto the boundary. And just Erasmus looks to try and come through for the run. Quickly has to scamper back. Quick work in the field by the Aussies. Don't want to be giving away any easy singles. Keep the pressure on at this point. The early wicket to fall.
Well, with the clouds coming back in and having a look at the weather forecast suggests that if you were a batting coach, you'd be quite happy with a 100% chance of rain for quite a few hours, and only batting coaches would like to see so many hundreds on one card.
Well, 100% chance of rain. It sounds like I'm back in England. We could be up in Manchester.
Quite happy to have escaped the harsh winter in the UK at the moment.
Short ball, not quite timed, but the fielder's going to have to do some work to get round. He does well, cuts it off just for the one. Not taken cleanly by the keeper, but doesn't cost them anything extra. Well, we saw yesterday's game, Ben Cutting was really struggling with injury. Something happened to him while he was out there batting. He stuck out there, made a 22. Was struggling a little bit, but he seems all right out in the field today. The Aussie captain, they don't want him going down.
He's still hobbling around, Ben Cutting. It's not moving at his best, and so flung his entire, what's that, 6'5", 6'6" frame at that one, and managed to keep the batter in his crease and stop them from crossing for a single.
A little bit of a hobble, perhaps. They don't want their captain going down like the Americans. Well, end of 3 overs. The Americans 20 for 1. Just the 3 runs coming off Sanchit's first over. And Erasmus 10 from 7 for him. We saw that big hefty blow. We know what he can do. Just eyeing up his field. And can he take on the spinner? Well, that is just what they wanted. And it launches it for 6. Gerard Erasmus is not hanging about here. Quick hands. And after just 6 came off Assad's first over, and there's already 6 off the first ball here.
Well, the last time he struck for 6, he picked up a wicket in the over.
Good work out in the field. Yeah, lots of players now in sunglasses, so it's bright out there. I think that was more of a pair of Wayfarers he's got on than your average cricket glasses. But that's a good recovery after being struck for 6, first ball of the over, to back it up with 2 dots. And another. Well, it's difficult. Tournament play, obviously, the Americans have had a couple of days off. They'll have been keeping an eye on what's going on with this Aussie team and with everyone else in the tournament. Obviously, having a net. But sometimes you just got to get your head back in the game.
Well, this has been very good bowling by Assad. Being struck for 6 off the first ball and then 4 dots after. He's going to look to close this over out now. He's asked all the fielders to sit on the edge of the circle.
Well, just 1 to close out the over. Started with a 6 and then really good recovery from Assad. 7 from the over, 4 overs gone, 27 for 1, the Americans. The Aussies winning the toss, choosing to have a bowl. Their pacer got struck on the ankle early on.
Well, after 4 overs, Premium USA 27 for 1. And we'll be trying to uproot the Premium Aussies like this 10. Flip them over.
All legs akimbo. Well, tell me some stereotypical Aussie things and we'll put them on an Aussie flag. We've got a harbour bridge, a kangaroo. I'm surprised there aren't any tinnies or surfboards on there too. If you could think of stereotypical things to put on a West Indian flag, what would you go for?
Sun, sea, sand, beach.
I think the English one, we could just have a big picture of lots of people queuing.
And a big grey cloud.
And a big old grey cloud. People queuing in the rain. That sounds about right.
Well, this has been really good from Sanchez here. First over going for 3 runs and starting with 2 dots as well. He's found a good length that's not allowing Erasmus to get under his bowling. Not providing much width either, so he can get his hands through the ball.
It's well stopped. Well, interesting. Erasmus, yes, he's hit those 2 big 6s, but aside from that, he's not really timing it.
All the fielders in the offside, hovering on the 30-yard circle. Daring Erasmus to go over the top, if you may. And he's out. Really good bowling here from Sanchez continues. Beautiful line and length. He's trapped him right in front. Erasmus trying to hit this one away through the leg side. Misses it and he's trapped right in front. LBW goes for 17. Premium USA 27 for 2.
Yeah, they're in all sorts of trouble there. The two openers back in the hutch, the two big hitters, the kind of men that could give real impetus to the beginning of this. And he's struck just below the knee roll. And the umpire, no hesitation in putting the finger up. Erasmus, he goes for a runner ball 17. Those two big sixes and not a lot else to write home about. Well, the Aussies, this is the most confident they've looked in the tournament so far. Winning the toss, choosing to bowl first, picking up 2 early wickets. The openers, and impressive stuff from Sanchit with the ball.
Well, new batsman Amir Hotak.
Gloves wonderfully coordinated with his kit. The red and blue. We saw a fantastic pair of pink gloves in this morning's game. I think, is there time for me to put those on my Christmas list for Santa? Will they arrive in time? And the new batter, Hamza, facing up. And he's
Smart
off the
cricket
mark.
by Hamza here. Just dropping it into the offside. Everyone sitting back on the circle.
Well, this is what brought him to the middle and brought about the demise of guard Erasmus. Well, that breaks the shackles on a tidy, successful over from Sanchit. Navanpreet slicing it down, cutting it away to backward point and goes for 4. So 5 from the over and the wicket. The end of 5, the Americans, 32 for 2. So 1 over left in the power play until those restrictions are lifted. You'd feel pretty good right now if you're the Aussies, actually. 2 wickets already, the 2 openers, 2 men who really can take the game away from you. And we're again going to have a change in bowling, it seems. And it's Usman Tariq been handed the ball. Headbanded warrior.
Very bright neon green number on the back of his shirt as well.
Maybe that's what the sunglasses are for.
The yellow of the Australian kit with that neon green. Can't miss them anywhere. And with NASA being here in Houston, I think we may have a problem.
Well, he had a problem with that and he's got to go back and start it again.
Wow.
I'm going to say that is one of the most unique run-ups I think I have ever seen in my 29 years of watching cricket.
Well, let's have a replay of that again. Let's see if that was a prank.
Well, that's swept away. It's going to beat the fielder. Is it going to race for 4? No, it's just slowing up. You know what it reminds me of? It's a footballer. As they stride up to take the penalty, and they just slow themselves down and then take it. And this is what he does in his run-up. He sort of sets off, and then it's like, when am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? And now, he's got absolutely no momentum from the run-up. He was almost taking a standing start.
Well, a few years ago, Ravi Ashwin used to pause in his delivery stride when playing T20 cricket to be able to adjust to whatever shot a batsman may be trying to play. I'm not sure if he's taken inspiration from that.
I mean, I can think of worse people to try and take inspiration from. Well, it's working so far, just the two.
Well, causing all sorts of problems here today. The batter's not picking him, keeper's not picking him. I'm not picking him from the commentary box.
I'm with you on that one. I'm very glad I'm not out there in the middle with a bat in hand. Or as a keeper. Well, just the 3 runs off the over so far.
Umpire seems to be having a bit of a chuckle to himself as well.
Well, it was unique, but it worked. So 3 runs off the over, the 2 in the leg by. So 6 overs gone. That is the end of the power play. The Americans close out the power play 35 for 2. Both the openers back in the hutch. And the rebuild is on. Nice to see fans and families in. Get the youngsters in. Young boys and girls getting inspired to play cricket in America by the American Premier League. And getting into cricket is the thing to do in America at the moment. And the World Cup shared here next year, and then the LA 28 Olympics, not too distant future.
Major League cricket has been a great addition to the cricketing calendar. And with the Cricket World Cup next year, provides a great opportunity of a summer-long cricket extravaganza here in the USA.
Well, after being struck on the ankle earlier on, Laksh is back on, which is nice to see. I thought that could have been a real blow for Laksh Parekh, and he was going to be in lots of trouble, but he's all right. 11 from his first over, and he's back on and bowling pace again. Now, who would you say that power play belonged to?
Evenly shared, 35 for 2 from 6. Optimistic appeal there.
Well, I'm not sure who's outside our commentary box, but I think I know who he's supporting. Everything the Aussies do. He cheers, he shouts. Everything's a wicket in his eyes. That's just beaten the edge. That's very, very close. And he's been hit now as well. Well, it's all going on out there in the middle. Bodies falling apart. Putting your bodies on the line for the game of cricket. But he's done well to make his ground. Navanpreet just bends his knees, shakes it off, and feels good. And that's just swinging outside the off stump, and he misses. 36 for 2 remains the score. Well, Laksh Parekh, he went off after his first over. He finished his first over, and he looked like he was in all sorts of trouble after being walloped in the ankle by a shot off the bat of Garda Erasmus, which I do not envy. But he's come back with a really fine second over. Full toss, chipped up, and it's land safe. And it's good running to come back for 2. Well, still 1 to come in this over. 38 on the board. So they're going along at just over 5.5. But they're going to want to accelerate this. The Aussies haven't had a chance to chase yet, so we don't know what kind of thing they'd be able to chase down. It's nicely weighted on. So 7 overs completed here at the Musa Cricket Stadium. The USA 39 for 2. The 2 openers, the wickets to fall. 4 coming off that over. Going along at 5.5. The music's blaring, the sun is out, and we've got cricket. So the wicket apiece for Asad, Rafiq and Sanchit Sandhu. Started quickly before that first wicket went down out of Otley, who we know what he can do. We saw him do it in the previous game, so they were very happy to see the back of him. And followed by Garda Erasmus. So now these 2 out in the middle, just trying to put something together. Need to try and find those boundaries. And here we go again. And they're just not reading it. Don't know if they're put off somewhat by the run-up, what's going on, but struggling to time it. Navanpreet out in the middle. Again mistimed, but they will get 1.
Well, Tariq is causing a lot of problems here. Everyone seems to be trying to get after him, but they're not able to get under the length that he's bowling at the moment. Hence 2 inside edges that have squared off into the backward square region for singles. And that's going to be a close call. Poise says not out. Going down leg.
Even the release point is obscure, but it's working. And that'll land safe. There was a shout of catch. I think an over-optimistic fan down to our left again. That's 1 more to the total. And that's just beaten the edge.
It's beaten everything. Keeper hasn't read it as well. Bowler isn't happy. He's gone away for 4 boys. So Usman Tariq is causing all sorts of problems here.
Yeah, not just for the batters, but for his own team too. You can't believe that's put that blemish on his over. Worked away into the onside and just the one. So 8 overs gone, USA. Premium Americans, 47 for 2. Well, in the end, 8 coming off that over, thanks to those 4 byes that just bamboozled everyone. Well, the sun is well and truly out. And the sun not really shining on either of these teams yet. A very even Stevens, 47 for 2 after 8, the Americans. And they're just looking to try and push that run rate. Still under 6, 5.88 at the moment. And Laksh Partik back on with his third.
Well, skipper Ben Cutting really struggling there to move. Was ungainly, hobbling across the field just now. Flung himself at that one, valiant attempt. Wasn't able to stop it, and they crossed for a single.
Oh, swinging hard, trying to swing big, almost practicing like a baseball shot there. I know you're the Americans, but this is cricket. Almost swung himself off his feet. Well, there is a fielder out there who's camouflaged against the substitutes out beyond the boundary. Well, it'll just be a single, but that brings up the 50 for the Americans. They reach 50 for 2 inside 9 overs. No one really doing the big lifting here, the big hitting. They're just trying to take it on, not timing it. But the 50 is up inside 9. Full, and again not timed. 3 from the over, 1 still to come. And again, picks out the fielder. 9 overs gone after they scamper through for the 1. 4 coming from that. End of 9, the Americans 51 for 2. Now, are they going to continue, or will we have a change in bowler?
Indeed, we've got Simi Singh into the attack.
Continuing with spin then from this end. And Simi Singh, well, he did a good job with the bat for the Aussies in their previous game. 39 from 45. And picked up 2 wickets, so he had a good day out against the Indians. Despite being on the losing side there.
Right there, hold the boy, right there, hold the boy. Catch is coming, boys, catch is coming, boys.
And yes, they've got the stoppers a bit on the run scoring here, but they would like a wicket, the Aussies. And that could well be it. That's gone very high in the end. Is it going to land safe? It is. 3 fielders converging. None of them can make up the yards. The bowler even getting in on the action. And he's telling his fielders they need to swap.
Harsh judger, Semi Singh. Don't think anyone stood a chance of getting to that one. That landed within the 30-yard circle. But I guess he's putting the better fielder on the boundary. Batters seem to be struggling with timing at the moment. This one seems to be sent upstairs for review, for stumping.
Well, Hamza doesn't look too worried, but it really kicked up, he's indicating there. And they think they've got his man, the Aussies. I think we're going to be going upstairs for this one. As Despacito reverberates around the Musa Cricket Stadium.
Legal delivery. Here we go.
It's very, very close. And what a position he's got himself into there.
Well, I think he's going to be safe here. The bounce seeming to be the undoing of the wicket keeper. He's had to jump a long way to take that one, which would have left him with a lot of work to do to get the ball back down to break the stumps. And the batter making a full round motion, swinging himself off his feet. I think may have just gotten back in.
I'm so impressed by this work. The bat hand swap, getting himself all in a knot. And in that position, it looks like the Aussie wicketkeeper is trying to sort of leapfrog the stumps. There's a green light, not out from the umpire's room.
Well, Semi Singh extracting a lot of bounce here. We've not seen much of that thus far this tournament. So he'd be happy with the bounce he's getting, but maybe a bit frustrated as well, as that sort of cost him a wicket there.
Yeah, he's unlucky, but I also think these batters are getting a bit frustrated. You can see trying to take on the bowler there, just end up one-handed, missing the ball entirely. And weighted, nicely rocked off the back foot. Well, that run rate is coming down. We're now below 5.5.
one ball in the first half before the drinks break.
And that's up in the air. Fielder likes it, thinks he's in the game, and it can't quite get there. It was going to be a tough catch, and he's put it down. He got his fingers to it and just couldn't quite reel it in. Rehman Dar, good effort, made up good ground. But Simi Singh, he doesn't get his man as Amir looks to go aerial. Just not quite got a hold of it. Great diving effort. It was in, it was out, and was a very difficult chance. And with that brings out the end of the 10th over. The Americans 54 for 2. And we're going to have a quick drinks break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Shaba, Shaba. Shaba, boys, keep talking.
Well, Usman Tarek is back on, and he's changed ends. 10 overs down, the USA Premium Americans 54 for 2. Usman Tarek just giving us a little run through of that somewhat eccentric run-up, if you can call it a run-up at that pace. There's a dance move in there somewhere. He's gone for just 6 from his 2 overs. And 4 of those were buys that just no one knew what to do with. And it struck on the pad. But the bowler, not particularly interested, has a chat with his keeper. And definitely going down leg. Swept away. Still fielder out there. Just be the one. Struck on the pad again. Umpire teases by moving his hand, but no, he's just clicking away the overs. Just an adjustment of the pads.
शाबाश 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 अभी तक एक मिडल नहीं हुआ haven't seen any middle boy yeah शाबाश 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 wicket is coming boys wicket is coming boys
Well, Usman Tariq, this has been so impressive. He's causing all sorts of problems for these American batters. They're just not reading it. They can't get him away. And just the 7 runs off his bowling so far. Well, that's how to take him on, and that's gone very high. Fielder under it, makes a dramatic jump just for good measure, but miles over him and miles over the boundary rope for a shackle breaking 6. And that's a good recovery from the bowler. A big grin from everyone all around. 11 overs down, and the Americans 61 for 2. Well, we've got music here at the Musa Stadium today. But not quite any fireworks from the Americans just yet. And Simi Singh to continue with his second, just 3 coming off his first over. And almost that chance of a stumping. Up in the air again. Fielder coming in. Can he get that? He takes the catch. Fingers up. Well, that's the end of Navanpreet. And Simi Singh, he has his man. Finally gets his wicket. That's his first of the day. The USA, they lose their 3rd.
Well, that catch was taken true Aussie style reverse cup. Premium Aussies would have needed that wicket. 61 for 3 now. We want to try and curtail Premium Americans to as little as possible, given the fact that their batting itself hasn't been the greatest in this tournament. Thus, they'd be wanting to try and restrict this Premium Americans team and give their batters the best chance of going out and chasing whatever total is set forth for them.
So he goes for 15. And Shams Arafin comes out to the middle. Apologies, Karen Chandel comes out to the middle. Well, that is the breakthrough that the Aussies needed. No, they weren't going at a huge scoring rate, but they were set and they were in, and there was the opportunity, the chance that they could then start trying to take on the bowling, which is what they did when they were caught. He was caught out on the boundary, trying to inject some momentum into this innings.
Well, the Aussies are in the attack here now. Simi Singh has added a slip fielder, and they're hoping for further breakthroughs to claw themselves back into this contest.
Well, Chandel's up and running. He's off the mark. Right, the other end to him, now facing up. Amir Hamza quietly going about his business. 15 from 20 for him. Need to start trying to increase that strike rate. Yes, they've still got 7 wickets in hand, but only 62 on the board. And he sweeps one-handed. Again, not quite timed, picks out cutting. And the wind definitely picking up. You can see the shirts blowing around, the flags picking up that blustery breeze. Well, we saw the gazebo had already decided and called it a day. A bit early on a Saturday, already ended up upside down. It's only just the afternoon. Takes him on, goes aerial and goes for 6.
That's exactly what the Premier Americans would want to see more of here. The last 8 overs of this first half of this game, 69 for 3, and in a good position to try and get themselves up to a total that will be competitive, similar to what we saw in the first game, around that 120, 130 mark. So they're well on their way with only 3 wickets down and having a set batter at the crease in Amir Hotak, who's just been joined with Karan Chandel. These two would hope to bat for at least another 4 to 5 overs, giving the rest of the team free rein, if you like, to come and have a swing and play a type of a Hayden Walsh innings, is what we saw earlier.
Well, the sweep one-handed fielder takes the catch. Or has it hit the floor? Well, the fielder doesn't look too enamoured. And well, there seems to be was there a collision?
Well, something's happened to Usman Tariq here.
Always a difficult one to call these. Usman Tariq into his 4th over. 4th and final. And he's still rubbing that jaw. A difficult one, this, for the TV umpire. one hand on the bat. I mean, he does well to make up the ground. Diving effort. And it looks like it's touched the ground now. Well, they're all pretty ready back out there again. Usman Tariq. Yeah, there's that green light. Green means you're all right. Usman Tariq's back at the top of his mark. No longer. Oh, he's still rubbing that jaw a little bit. And after all that, next one's wide down the leg side.
It's all good, boy. It's all good, boy.
Well, Usman Tariq has got his man here. Karen Chandler has come down the wicket, had a mighty swing at this one, missed it, and he's bowled. So Usman Tariq getting himself into the wickets column with still 4 balls to go in his final over, and he deserves this wicket, you'd say, having caused so much problems for all of the batters in the Premium USA.
Yeah, definitely deserved that. He was really put the squeeze on the run scoring, and then he thought he had his man, perhaps with that catch. Chance of picking up his first, and then just 2 deliveries later, the next one wide down the leg side, recovered nicely, and he does finally have his first wicket of the day in his 4th over. He's still holding that jaw, but it will hurt a little less now he's got a wicket to soothe it.
Boys, righty on strike, boys. Righty on strike. पता ही नहीं चल रहा क्या कर रहे हो.
Well, Tariq still got a few deliveries up his sleeve. What can he do? What difference can he make?
ये चीज, शाबाश boy. Wicket is coming, boy. थोड़ा ऊपर रहियो.
Well, the winds have really picked up here. Another 2 of those tents have gone lopsided.
ये क्या था? Wow, what a ball, boy. Shabash, shabash, keep doing that.
Well, Abhayender Singh will hope that his batting isn't lopsided.
Yeah. That
Or
was
finds
teesra,
himself
boy. That was teesra, boy.
legs akimbo fallen over like a tent. They've got to try and inject something in here. We're halfway through the 13th over. 71 on the board. Wickets in hand. But the guile of Usman Tariq is doing for the American batters at the moment.
Morning, Usman. Only God know what you're doing, bro. All right. Good effort, boy. Good effort. It's all good. Shabash, shabash, shabash. Jakish like shabash. Shabash, shabash, boys. Shabash, Sham. Be ready, shabash. 2-3 kadam upar se aana, single now.
Well, Tariq just 1 delivery left now to see what he can finish off with. Really impressive figures. 1 for 16 for him. And 1 delivery still to come. He's confused these Americans. That's chipped up in the air, and there'll be 1 to close out the over. So 13 overs gone. At the end of 13, the Premium Americans 73 for 4. Usman Tariq, he's bowled out. 1 for 17 from him. He's still holding that jaw. And I think he's heading off.
Well, Tariq seems to be going off to get some treatment to that jaw. But he's done his part here today with the ball for the Premium Aussies. really stifled the Premium American scoring rate, dragged them all the way back. The score 73 for 4, and Simi Singh still having 2 overs up his sleeves. It's going to be difficult scoring in the final 7 overs here.
That's well picked up by Cutting. Yes, struggling with that injury, but still throwing himself around in the field. You can see just hobbling.
Not good fielding there. Knock on in rugby terms. Advantage played. Single down to long off.
I don't think the Aussie men want to be thinking about rugby at the moment. There's a rebuild to be done there as well. Well weighted. No, again, just the one. But at the moment, singles are fine, but it'd be much happier to find the boundary in a long time since we've seen the ball cross the rope. Again, just picks out the man. And feeling for that one. And the Singh is all over Abayenda at the moment.
Well, it's a battle of the Singhs here. Semi going past the bat of Abayenda.
A few darker clouds rolling in the distance as we come to the end of the 14th over the Americans after being put in 78 for 4. Well, 6 overs still to play. They've got 6 wickets still in hand. But they've started to accelerate early on in the innings, but since then just not really managed to find that impetus in this innings, and they're just walking along at the moment, walking to 77, 6 overs. What can they make of this? What can they put on the board? We haven't seen the Aussies have to chase yet in this tournament. And this time it's another Usman with the ball, Usman Ashraf. Usman Tariq gone off with that jaw injury. Full toss, first ball.
Catch is coming, Shams. Catch is coming. Shama, focus. Shaba, 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 TV. Catch is coming, boy.
Again, full toss, not put away.
Shaba, Usi, that was your plan. I knew it. Shaba. Shaba, 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 boy. Right there, hold the
We're
ball.
going at 5s and over. They should get to around that 110 mark. But if they continue to allow for all these dot balls, then obviously that's going to curtail their scoring opportunities.
Right there, hold the boy. Right there, hold the boy.
And with boundaries being few and far between, they'll need to pick up the scoring somehow here or find a way to rotate the strike.
That's the ball right there, boy.
Well, it's quietened up out there. Aussies just quiet in the field. And again, just the one. Well, they'll take that and they'll take the runs how they can. USA, they're up over the 80 mark. Well, he takes it on. It's up in the air. Fielder under it. Hands under. Easy as you like. He takes the catch. And Turf Patel was not going to drop that one. He looks very irritated with himself. Amir Hamza Hotak. And he has to go for 21 of 29. And finally, the breakthrough for the Aussies. They're being frustrated.
Well, Usman Ashraf wasn't happy with the umpire for signalling wide the delivery before, but that's given him an extra delivery and he's managed to create the breakthrough. 5 down now. Premium Australians pegging away.
Well, he was the man they wanted rid of. And now, can they clean up the tail, the Aussies? And he's off the mark straight away. Apologies, end of the over. So now we're facing up for the first time. It's Badar Shabir. Well, trying to steal another there, but kept honest by some quick work in the field. Right, so just over 15 overs gone. They've still got 5 wickets in hand. They'll be looking towards that 110, 120 if they can. And dealing in singles at the moment. Well, just 3 more deliveries to come from Simi Singh. Picked up the one for just 18 runs. Well, that's up in the air. Fielder coming in, takes the catch. Make that 2 for Simi Singh. And Badar, he faced 2 deliveries and he was gone on the second. And the fielder is down, I think made contact with the ground. He's holding his head, but he also held on to his catch.
Well, the catching has been good. Here's a replay of that dismissal. Simi Singh tossing it up in the air just outside off stump. Batter trying to go down the ground. Fielder, in taking a good catch, fell over and hit his head. And so we've got physio out on the field at the moment as Batter has to depart for 1 from 2 balls. Seems to be a concussion test taking place at the moment.
So what do they actually say to you in a concussion test?
Are you concussed? No, well, he'll just be checking to make sure that the fielder, obviously in this case, is responsive. He can answer basic questions and make sure that he knows his whereabouts, where he's at, what's the date, basic stuff like that.
See, that's one I think I would struggle with. I think I just about know where I'm at. But what's the date could at times be difficult, especially around this sort of Christmas time of the year. Every date is sort of just Christmas-ish. But good to see that he is up and standing. We've already seen one Australian go off with a dodgy jaw.
Well, new batter is captain for the day, Imran Khan. And he's going to have to play a big part in the Americans getting to a respectable score that they can defend. Obviously, we remember he came in for his first match in the last match that the Premier Americans played and had a 5-wicket haul, straight away making an impact on the tournament. And so this time he's tasked with doing that with batting hand at the beginning of this game and with ball later on.
Well, Simi Singh has been right on the money again today. Another 2 wickets in his wicket column. 1 delivery still to come. We've got a slip in attacking field. And that's up in the air. It's going to land safe. Couple of bounces up to long off. And that closes out the 16th over. 4 overs are done for Simi Singh. He finishes with figures of 2 for 19. The Americans on to 85 for 6 after 16. 4 overs still to come as the clouds rumble in. Well, Amir Hamzat, he was having a good day with the bat. They started off with some impetus, but when Otley went early, followed by Erasmus, it was then down to the rebuild. They've never really got going. These two need to try and see what they can make of these final 4 overs. Currently 85 for 6, 4 overs left in hand.
Well, skipper Imran Khan teasing the men at long off at the moment. 1 bounce short of the fielder. Crosses for a single.
Well, they do need to start accelerating, the Americans. Well, that is one way to do it. Over the fielder, over the rope, and that's 6.
Much needed 6 indeed. Score moves on to 92. So we're getting closer to that 100-run mark. Abhinder Singh, mighty blow. Fielder at long off thought he stood a chance for a bit, but it's still comfortably over his head. And this time Abhinder Singh goes through the cover region for 4 more. So 10 off the last 2 balls and Abhinder Singh getting a move on with it. Score rushes up to 96 now.
This is just what the Americans would have wanted to see. They'd slowed down hugely. The brakes were well and truly on. Few wickets fell. But Abhinder Singh said, I don't mind if wickets fall. I'm going to accelerate and get us up to something that we can defend.
Well, with 2 balls left in this over, Abhinder Singh may be trying to maximize on this over and try and see how much he can get out of it. Well bowled.
Thank you.
Going for the Yorker there. Not much the batter could do with that one.
Again, well bowled. Well, that 110, 120 is looking very doable now for the Americans. At the end of 17, they're 96 for 6. Abhinder Singh, 17 from 15 for him. Just being kept company by his captain. Just the 2 to his name at the moment. And 11 coming from that over. Well, 2 wickets for Simi Singh. A wicket for everyone else other than Laksh Parekh. But he does still have an over up his sleeve.
Well, the current rate sits at 5.65.
And Asad Rafiq is going to continue. Into the pitch to start off the over, an easy single. And just working in singles again here, these two.
Well, they're 2 short of that 100-run mark. That'll be their first objective in this over.
Again, drop and run, through for the 1. Moves them on to 99. He swings and that's gone very big. And it's almost taken us out in the commentary box.
Well, that's exactly what the Premium Americans would need at this point. Some lusty blows. 6 runs by Abhinder Singh takes them past that 100-run mark. 105 for 6 with 1 ball left in the over. And the Premium Americans looking to get a move on with only 2 overs left in the innings after this ball.
Quicker delivery, struck on the pad, finger goes up. You hit me for 6 and I'll get you out. And Asad has his second.
Well, here's a replay of that dismissal.
Struck on the back pad, clattering into the stumps, that would be, and Abhinder Singh It was a nice cameo. He goes for 24 from 18.
Well, one thing you're sure of here at Musa Cricket Stadium, when you hit on the pad 9 out of 10 times once it's in line, it's going to go on to hit those stumps. It's not going to go over. So, well done by the bowler in Assad there, bowling at the stumps, giving himself the best chance of getting a wicket. And the new batsman now to the crease is Sheldon Cottrell, who's not sporting a helmet.
Well, for now he'll be at the non-strikers. That was the end of the 18th over. Score up to 105 for 7, so they have crossed that 3-figure mark. And Sheldon Cottrell with all the jewellery. It'll be Captain Imran Khan on strike. And he's sent back by Cottrell. Interesting that he's come out to bat without a helmet on, seeing as it is pace on. So they take a single and he's already going to have to get his helmet.
Well, I think he may be channeling his inner traditional West Indian. Viv Richards days batting in the baggy maroon or without a cap at all, and still dispatching anything within sight. Having said that, he's come through for a single on a wide and jogged all the way to the 30-yard circle where he collects a helmet from one of the reserve players, so he's dispelled that notion, opted for modern day safety, and he'll be on strike now.
Well, just under 2 overs remaining. 107 score on the board. And he comes out of his crease and it's just missing the edge. Hands on heads from some of the Australians. He's fielding that one outside off, and Ben Cutting is really struggling out there, opts not to give chase. And in the end, his partner in crime, Usman Tariq, does the cleaning up. Well, 9 legitimate deliveries still to come. 109 the score on the board. Sheldon Cottrell, the West Indian, facing up. Looks to launch it over mid-wicket. Well, 110 the score on the board. Still 7 deliveries to come in this first innings of this afternoon's game. I've already seen one absolute nail-biter this morning between the premium Afghans and the premium Windies. They so nearly got over the line, the Windies, but in the end fell 1 run short. And the full toss hit back over the bowler's head. Fielder comes round and 1 to close out the 19th over. The end of 19 overs, the Americans 111 for 7. Well, what have you made of this batting innings?
It's been an innings that has threatened to gain momentum but never really has taken off. But the premium Americans will be hoping for a few boundaries here in the last over to get them in that 120, 125 region as we saw with the earlier game. And then they'd back their bowling to put the premium Aussies, who haven't batted well this season, under a bit of pressure.
Well, as Abhinder Singh injected some kind of impetus into the innings, his 24 from 18, the standout performance with the bat for the Americans. But as you say, they've never really got going. There have been times you thought, right, this is going to be where they move into the next gear, and they've just not quite put the foot on the clutch enough to move that gear stick up. And now they have 1 over left, 111 for 7, and it will be the pace of Laksh Parekh to close things out.
Well, that's really well bowled. Leg stump Yorker dug out into the mid-wicket region for 1. So that's a good start to the over from the premium Aussies. Getting the more accomplished of the two batters, Imran Khan, off strike on the first ball of the over, bringing Sheldon Cottrell into strike here.
Well, that's flicked up in the air. It's going to land safe. It will still just be 1. But Cottrell trying to take it on. He has a look at the end of his bat. Looks a little disappointed with himself.
Well, Cottrell's given that a mighty heave, landing safely in that mid-wicket area for 1.
It's nicely played, dug out, still along the ground, picks out the fielder. This is a good final over from Laksh Parekh. Just the 3 from it so far. 3 to come in this innings. 114 the score on the board. 7 wickets down. The Americans, they were put into bat. They've never really hit their straps, but they've managed to get themselves to 114 with 3 still to come. And he's been done by one that's kept low, slower ball there, swung through it well before the ball came to him, Cottrell. And they've done well to come through for 1.
Well, 2 balls left in this inning. Premium Americans would be hoping for a boundary or 2 here. That one's dug out through the cover region for 4, so exactly what the premium Americans would have hoped for, and the score now up to 119.
Yeah, that's really well placed by the captain. Found that gap.
And unlucky for the premium Aussies there. Well executed Yorker, Imran Khan, skillful enough to open the face and still get it through that cover region for 4. Slow ball this time, making room for himself, taking the outside edge, gone past the wicket keeper for 4, so the score up to 123, same score as what we saw in the first match today, and looks like deja vu all over again here this afternoon.
Well, it's the dream end for the Americans. They're struggling a little bit. Just got themselves up to something that looks pretty respectable after seeing this morning. Defended 123. 2 boundaries off the final 2 deliveries. And that gives them that momentum as they go into the field. it was sort of a patchy innings from the team in blue. Well, the Aussies, they've struggled with the bat in this tournament. Their 2 games so far. They've got to try and find some form with the bat and come out and start early and set that foundation, go big from the start. Interesting to see what captain Ben Cutting will be like between the wickets. He's struggling still a little bit. Yesterday, he was only dealing in boundaries. He was just hobbling between the sticks. But 123 for 7, that is what the Americans have made in their 20 overs. The 24 from Abhinder Singh in the middle. Well, at the end, captain Imran Khan, he played a captain's cameo and found the boundary on 2 occasions of the final 2 deliveries. And for the bowlers, Asad Rafiq, 2 for him, 2 for Simi Singh, and 1 each for Sandu Tariq and Ashraf. It was only Laksh Parekh who went without a wicket at the end. Conceding those 2 boundaries meant that his 4 overs went for 30 runs without a wicket. So 124 is what the Aussies need to clock their first win of the tournament. We're going to have a quick break back now, and we'll be back for the chase in just a minute. Well, welcome back to the Moser Cricket Stadium here in Houston, Texas. We have the chase coming up any minute. Well, the Americans, they came out, they scored at a relative pace, and in the end they managed to inject some impetus just at the end, get themselves up to 123 from their 20 overs. Well, it will now be down to the Australian batters to try and get themselves their first win of the tournament, get themselves up and running in this tournament. It's been a struggle so far. They need some points. They need a win. And the Americans, they had a couple of days off, and they want to get back up and running again. Well, the two umpires, they're having a good day, having a chuckle as they head out to the middle. We've been lucky so far with the weather, looking slightly grey and blustery out there, but still no sign of rain. Touch wood. And the American team just striding out, and the two Aussie batters not far behind them. Well, the captain, Ben Cutting, accompanied by his batting opening partner, Rehman Dar, will be kicking things off for the Aussie team. Well, it was a strange innings that for the Americans. There was no one that really took on the bowling. They never really hit sort of fourth, fifth gear, but they've managed to get themselves up to a respectable 123. So that was exactly what we saw in the game this morning as well. So 124 is what is needed by the Aussies to win. Our captain for today is Imran Khan again. And it looks like they're going to be opening up with spin. And we are ready for play. 124, that target for the Australians. Cutting to face the first ball.
That's going to be out. Wow. Interesting choice of shot there by Ben Cutting. Let's have a look at that again. Oh. Oh, wow. What's that missing up? Bowler should feel a bit hard done there, in my opinion. Oh, wow. This one's going to be out for sure. He's gone bowled. So Ben Cutting went back cutting and got his stumps cut down.
Well, well, well. That's his second duck of the tournament and the dream start for the Americans. Well, the bowler would have felt perhaps hard done by the delivery before. Well, no question about this one. And the Americans are up and running with the ball. Australians 0 for 1 after 0.2.
Well, exactly the start the premium Aussies would not have wanted here. Haven't managed to get off the mark yet and have lost the skipper and dangerous play in Ben Cutting. But premium Americans would be absolutely delighted by this start. Early wicket, second ball of their defense of their score that they set at 123. Both balls had an appeal. One, very successful in getting rid of the captain, Ben Cutting.
Well, they gave themselves the momentum at the end of that innings, picking up the 2 boundaries off the last ball, and they've come out with the continued momentum. And this has been such a good start from the opening bowler. And you see the Otley's in there at slip, attacking field. Well, they've gone up for the appeal, but swept away, and they're finally off the mark. No bat on it, leg by.
Well, I'm not sure about the choice of shot. Just seen your skipper get out to a ball keeping low. This one doesn't bounce too much as well. Slightly going down leg, so got away with it.
Well, talk about all action from the beginning. Something happening with every delivery.
Amir Hotak causing a lot of trouble here. And with there being some rain about, putting his team in front on the DL in case we're able to complete 5 overs. Getting through his over quite quickly as well, which is another tactic that I'm sure the Premier Americans would have discussed. Trying to ensure that with or without the rain, they can secure this victory here today. Yet still to have scored a run off the bat of Hotak in this over. So he's gotten rid of the leg slip now, sending back to the man at short square leg and looking to close out this over, which has been a very good one thus far.
And picks out the man, and still a run yet to come off the bat. A successful first over for the Americans. Just the one leg by, but also the wicket. And the captain sent back to the dugout. So after one over, the Aussies 1 for 1. That target 124.
Beautiful aerial shot here from the drone. You can see the flags
those flags taking a pasting in that wind.
That's where Hayden Walsh disappeared off into earlier in the morning. Happy we've managed to locate him. He's safe and well. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have wanted to spend Christmas amongst the trees.
Oh, Sheldon Cottrell has been handed the ball.
Right on target to begin with. Slight bit of shape as well.
So spin from one end, pace from the other.
Interesting scoreline as well. 1 for 1 from 1.1.
Sounds like something that could be wrapped on a drum, that.
Well, Cottrell going full. The first 2 balls of his spell here. Generally does this when he opens up to see if there's anything on offer. If there's nothing, then he generally pulls his length back and goes into the pitch. But there seems to be a bit of movement. And we've got 2 drones up at the moment. One currently taking a shot of the other one.
Droneception. And that was also the first run off the bat.
Cottrell straight down leg here. This one worked off the hip for 4 runs, down to fine leg. So the first boundary of the innings for the premium Aussies. And they'd be very delighted with that after having lost their skipper in the first over.
Yeah, this is the recovery they needed. And these two just need to work together and get going.
Well, on this occasion, Sheldon Cottrell threw everyone here beating the batter and going through his wicketkeeper as well, who had a knock on the man at slip. Lots of shape on offer there for Sheldon Cottrell. He'll be very happy with that. And he's got a slip in as well.
Just aborted run up there. And Erasmus there just showing there's a little string, a little bit of thread hanging from the ball. The umpire will be dealing with that with a little pair of scissors, I imagine.
Maybe not. Could be used as a bauble for a Christmas tree now. Nice shape there from Sheldon Cottrell to end the over. 6 for 1 after 2.
Well, 5 coming off that over from Cottrell, just the one boundary. After the dream start the Americans got off to in the first over, getting rid of Ben Cutting, the captain. Remember, this Aussie side are yet to win a game. They've played 2, lost 2. Well, the party's starting. I can hear the music. It is Saturday afternoon after all. Or maybe wherever you're tuning in around the world might be Saturday night. The last Saturday before Christmas. Unsurprisingly, Mir Hamza is continuing. This is his second. He had a very mixed first over. Thought he had Cutting with the first ball LBW and then wasn't given. So he went, you know what, I'll bowl him. There's no question in that one. And then another call, third delivery.
Well, Raymond Dar shipping for a big hit on that occasion. Aborted it, this time dropping it into the mid-wicket region. Misfield, which is allowed for a single. Both batters were in the same crease at one point. So if the fielder had picked up cleanly, there would have been a chance for a run out. But the misfield is allowed for the batters to go through for a single. And the score is on to 8.
Yeah, they don't want to be giving away those, the Americans. Well, that's up in the air. Fielder calls it. Easy as you like, takes the catch. Second wicket goes down. Hassan looking to try and inject some more pace into this Aussie chase. And he can only smile as he walks off.
Well, Christmas has come early here for Amir Hotak. Short delivery. Top edge straight up into the ear. Fielder at mid-wicket Imran Khan didn't have to do anything but accept his early Christmas present in the form of a catch. Premium Aussies lose their second wicket. Score 8 for 2. And Premium Aussies in a position that's not been too dissimilar for them for this season 2 of the American Premier League. In trouble inside the power play. 2 wickets down early, both to the bowling of left arm spin of Amir Hotak.
Well, Amir Hotak is having a pretty good afternoon. So, still got that attacking field. Still the slip in. Otley in there at slip. To the left-hander. The drone giving us that view of the fluttering flags in the background. One of the only turf wickets in the area. Full from the left arm spinner. Well, 3 overs down. A successful one again for Amir Hamza. Just the 2 runs and the wicket coming from it. So the end of 3, the Aussies 8 for 2. This is how the Americans got themselves to 123 for 7 in their 20 overs. And a sorry state for the Aussies again so far in this chase. The captain going just second ball of the innings. And Hassan Shah not too long afterwards. Well, there is news of rain around this afternoon. 5 overs constitutes a game. We're into the 4th here. Shake of the head from Sheldon Cottrell. Thought there might have been something on that going through to the keeper, but confirmed as a bye there on your scorecards.
Well, for those of you out there wondering where the premium Aussies would need to be, after 3 overs with 2 wickets down, there would need to be 23 runs on the Duckworth-Lewis charts, so currently falling well behind of where they need to be. And with the clouds rolling in and the place getting darker and darker by the second, very quickly actually, the premium Americans will be rushing through these overs to get to that 5 over mark.
Good work by Erasmus to get round to that. He made up good ground. He was going at pace. Yeah, that Duckworth-Lewis looks a long way in the distance. At this point, as a batter, do you think perhaps it is going to start raining and maybe we do just have to start having a hit? Well, they're falling behind either way, really. But It's difficult to weigh that up.
Well, that's the end of the fourth over. 12 for 2. And so we're just 1 over out from constituting a game. And at the end of 5 overs with 2 wickets down, Premium Aussies would need to be 32 or more to win this game. So they'd be needing to score another 20 runs in the next over.
That's a bit of an ask, I think, would be my understatement of today.
Well, that would be the biggest over of the tournament thus far.
And Hamza for his third. Cut away, nice looking shot, great sound off the bat, and it just beats the fielder.
Well, that's a timely boundary. You can hear the wind swirling through the Musa Stadium at the moment. Everything's just about safe on the ground at the moment, but the winds are picking up. And so the Premium Aussies will need to get a move on with their scoring.
It's gone up, finger's gone up, and he's got to go. Well, Amir Hamza, what an afternoon he's having with the ball. He has his third scalp of the afternoon. They're all over the Aussies, these Americans. And they find themselves 3 wickets down for just 17. Struck right in front, hitting middle. And he looks irritated with himself. He punches his hip. All smiles for those Americans. And Remandai, he goes for 9 from 15. Looked like they were just trying to inject something, finding the boundary. But the stoppers have been put on that one, and just look at that wind.
Well, that's not what Premium Aussies would have wanted here at all. Amir Hotak, which seems to have been a master move by the Premium Americans, picking up his 3rd wicket in his 3rd over here. 3 for 7 from 2.4. And the new batsman, Simi Singh, is going to have a lot of work to do here to get his team back into the contest. Another 107 needed from 92 balls.
And just 2 more deliveries. No matter what happens with the weather, we have a game. And the Australians are well behind what that Duckworth Lewis would expect. Well, he's just come out and straight away put the stoppers on the game for the Aussies. 3 wickets for just the 7 runs. And still another over up his sleeve. And that's a really tidy finish to that one. The one boundary coming off it, but at the end of 5, the Aussies 17 for 3. Well, Simi Singh, he was impressive with the ball today, and he did well with the bat in their last game, but he's going to have to do more than just well today. He's going to have to play a real game-changing innings if they want to try and get back into this. 3 wickets down already, and still another over of the power play. 107 needed off 90. The equation is doable, but history is telling us that this Aussie team struggle with the bat. We've had a change of bowling. Struck on the pad, and umpire unmoved. Well, still sticking with the pace, and it's now Shabir Ali taking over. Cottrell bowled out his 2 for just 8 runs.
Well, one left armer replacing another.
It's played fine, and Erasmus does well to get round and restrict them to just the 1. Well, absolutely no foot movement from Simi Singh. Just trying to cut that away and misses it.
Right on target again. And just played out to the man at extra cover. So 2 balls remaining in the power play here. Premium Americans are going to want to close it out with not much more damage being done. Continue to build the pressure.
Well, it's just difficult for the Aussies now. This is really good. Fast bowling. They're not managing to read it, get it away. Just the 1 from the over so far. They've been done by spin at the other end. And the pace at this end just keeping the lid on. Well, just 1 from that over. That closes out the power play. Well, it's very, very much the Americans' game at the moment. The end of 6 overs, and they've got the Australians 18 for 3. That required run rate up over 7.5, and already 3 wickets down. And should any weather come in, they're well behind that Duckworth Lewis as well.
But it's not going to get any easier for the premium Aussies. Gerard Erasmus into the attack. He's been very economical in this tournament.
Yeah, it's still continuing with spin from this end. Well, 18 for 3. That's the score as it stands after 6 overs. So going at just 3 and over. And right on the money from the beginning for Erasmus.
Slightly wider to him, please. Yeah, go.
Good field placement. Bowling to his field, Erasmus. Takes his time getting it set, but knows what he wants, and that's just flicked into the onside. And the first run off the bat off Erasmus is bowling. And clipped away, and that will be 4. A much needed boundary. Has been a real drought for the Aussies.
4 wides, Erasmus literally just stood and delivered that from the top of his bowling mark. He does like to mix up his delivery point.
Does well to get back.
Just short of the man there at extra cover. End of the over. 6 from it. 25 for 3 from 7. So premium Aussies falling well behind the rate. Target of 124. Gonna have to get a move on as they require another 99 from 13 overs at 7.62.
And just the 7 wickets in hand. Well, it's Amir Hamza Hordak. He's the man of the moment. 3 wickets for him. He's still got another over up his sleeve. I wonder when the decision will be made to bring him back on. Short and well kept down. Well, it's a difficult predicament, this, for the Aussies. They know that they need to try and increase this run rate and take it on, but they also don't want to just keep losing wickets, and they're not being given anything by the bowlers at the moment. So it's sort of the worst of all worlds if you're a player in green and gold right now. And the finger goes up. Well, we thought it was the worst of all worlds, and it gets even worse now.
Plane taking off in the distance. seems to be carrying the Premier Aussies' hopes. With it, 4th wicket down, 26 for 4. That one keeping low. Batsman Gihan Senanaika going back, trying to pull there. Being dismissed LBW for 5 from 13 balls, so it was a struggle for him.
Well, the hole is just getting deeper for the Aussies. All smiles in the American camp, though, at the moment. They know they are well and truly on top.
This has been impressive by the Premium Americans. Still haven't seen the man, Imran Khan, who got a 5-wicket haul in the last match for them yet. So they know that they've got a banker for them who hasn't been introduced into the attack yet, as Sabir goes past the outside edge on this occasion.
I can hear the wind whistling around the ground. Not yet the show of precipitation that we have been warned of this afternoon, as the man comes in to slip. And it's just beaten the outside edge. It's a happy looking camp, the American one. And again beats the edge.
3rd ball in a row. Shabi Ali has gone past that outside edge. He'd be thinking to himself, should I get a bit closer? And that's when bowlers err and leak unnecessary runs. The Premium Americans would be hoping that he keeps it in the same area and have much of the same, with 1 ball to go to close out the over.
Well, he's gone short this time, and the batter gets on top of it. Just the one to close out the over. So 2 runs and the wicket coming from Shabir's 2nd. The end of 8, and the Aussies 27 for 4.
Well, there's going to be a change of bowling here. Abhinder Singh being introduced into the attack, replacing Girard Erasmus after 1 over. Skipper ringing the changes here.
Well, we saw this in their earlier games. They like to rotate their bowlers. That's a great start. Well, that run rate is just climbing and climbing. 97 needed off 70 balls. And the fielder out there on the boundary come in, so cuts it off just for the one.
Well, Shams Arifin isn't the tallest of cricketers, and so getting down to sweep, doesn't matter how low the pitch is keeping, is a relatively easy endeavour for him.
Wide down the leg side. The wicketkeeper does well to give chase. And Erasmus in the end does well to cut it off from going for extras.
Well, an unnecessary attempt at a faster ball from Abhinder Singh here. He did something similar to that in the previous match as well, where he went for 5 wides on a few occasions. In a situation like this where the batters aren't rotating the strike, all he has to do is put it in front of them and ask them to make decisions.
Well, they're struggling to make any decisions at the moment, and the decision they need to make is find the boundary, but the bowling is too tight to be able to take it on and try and go over the top. Well, I say that. He does just that. He goes over the top, and that's over long off for 6. And that closes out the 9th over, the Aussies 38 for 4.
Well, we're going to see another change of bowling. Bara Shabir introduced into the attack, and skipper Imran Khan going with the theme of introducing a new bowler every over, getting everyone on the field involved. Stay warm. Not sure when I'll call upon you. With this being the last over before the drinks break, the Aussies will want to get through without any further loss of wicket and regroup and plan as how they want to go about executing the rest of this run chase.
It's nicely nerdled away, and they look to try and come back for 2, but not going to take on the arm, and so settle for 1. Yeah, there'll be some real discussions need to be had between these two at the drinks break. How are we going to get back in this game? The partnership building, but not quite fast enough. They are rotating the strike. They're taking on Badar and just taking him on for the singles, totting them up, but with that required rate up over 8. They need to start finding the boundary a bit more. Well, end of 10 overs. 10 overs down. The Aussies 41 for 4. That run rate up at 8.3 now. And then we're going to have a quick drinks break and we'll be back with you in a minute. We're up and running again. Erasmus has come back on. A chance of a run out. It was close. Well, the discussion has been we've got to start trying to inject something into this. So they're having to take a few more risks, taking on the arm of Sheldon Cottrell.
They're going to need to take these types of risks if they're going to get anywhere near to the target of 124.
It's still not going to be a boundary.
Premium Aussies have really struggled as a team to put any sort of partnerships together when they've been with batting hand. And you can see that the batters aren't very confident, which is highlighted by the fact that they're not even able to rotate the strike.
Well, on a positive note, they have passed their score of the first game, where they made only 38. But that's very little to write home about at the moment. Well, only Erasmus interested in that one. End of the over. 11 overs gone. 43 for 4 the score. That target, 124. Looks a long way in the distance. Well, the dark is descending And I don't think it's just my eyes. It is getting darker out there. We've still got to fit 9 overs in, or if they can chase this down, or if they can take 6 wickets before the rain descends. If the rain does descend and it ends up, we can't get play underway, well, they are well behind that Duckworth-Lewis, the Aussies. And the slip is in again. And it's Imran Khan. He's already got a fifer in this tournament. Can he make a breakthrough here and continue this charge towards victory for the Americans?
Well, just in case you're wondering, out there that Duckworth-Lewis currently sits at 67 with the loss of 4 wickets.
Catch coming, guys. Catch coming. Jala, boy.
And well weighted, but again, just the one. Full use of the feet. He's not timed it. It's good work coming round to do the fielding, and they're going to scamper back for 2, take on the arm, put the pressure on, and cause the misfield.
Well, that's gone upstairs for a review and a stumping.
Well, the Americans think they might have got their man here. Imran Khan, 5 wickets in the previous game. Has he got his first of this game today? Oh, very easily behind that line.
Well, that's going to be out. There's nothing behind that line. And that line belongs to the umpire. Just awaiting confirmation here from the TV umpire. But I think the premium Americans, and Imran Khan in particular, are going to be very happy with that strike.
Well, this will be just the breakthrough the Americans needed, and it's Imran Khan again, and there it is, the red signal. He's got to go. 5 wickets down now, the Aussies, 47 for 5. And Imran Khan has his first wicket of the day.
Delayed introduction into the bowling attack by the skipper Imran Khan himself today, but having the same effect and impact on the game regardless of when he comes onto the ball, striking in his first over, dismissing Shams, Arifin, and putting further pressure on the premium Aussies batting lineup here today. 5 wickets down, so they've lost half of their team. And with 2 balls left in the over, Imran Khan would be hoping to do further damage. new batter Asad Rafiq to the crease. Playing back to a ball that he probably should have been on the front foot to, gone through to the keeper. This time pushing it out into the offside and coming through for a single. Thinking about a second, but no chance of coming back. So Imran Khan finishes his first over, which has gone for 5. And picking up the wicket of Shams Arifin. Premium Aussies 48 for 5, still requiring a further 76 runs with only 8 overs remaining at a run rate of 9.50.
Well, Shams Arifin, he was the one trying to get it up and running a bit, but Imran Khan saw the back of him, as he did with 5 batters in their previous game. And Erasmus is going to continue, so we're carrying on with spin from both ends.
And to highlight how difficult batting has been for the Premium Aussies, they've had 11 extras in that total of 48. So it's been very difficult scoring out there for them today. And with Gerard Erasmus getting through his overs so quickly, the Premium Aussies are going to need to find a way to not only rotate the strike here, but to get some much needed boundaries in this run chase.
Well, that run rate pushing up towards 10 now. And Erasmus has got Assad's number at the moment.
Well, Erasmus is bowling fast and flat. Mix up here. Both batters stopping in the middle of the wicket. Ball hit straight to the man at short mid-wicket. And the skipper Imran Khan, who throws it back to the bowler Gerard Erasmus. And Simi Singh goes run out. Wasn't able to get back in time after that mix-up. And another wicket falls here for the Premium Aussies. 48 for 6 now. Erasmus 4 dot balls in the over. And that pressure telling on the Premium Aussies, trying to scamper through for a quick single. Indecision between the two batsmen left Semi Singh stranded, trying to get back into his ground and unable to do so before Gerard Erasmus broke the stumps.
Yeah, and their hopes of trying to get anything from this game are really slipping away now. The full toss. Fielder had the time, easy as you like. And he was out by half a yard at least. Well, Usman Tariq comes out to the middle. .48 on the board.
Well, I think Asad Rafiq has seen enough. Now he's decided he's going to have a swing, which is absolutely necessary at this point. 6 wickets down. And he's going to have to try and do most of the scoring himself. Another dot ball from Gerard Erasmus, who's now completed his 3rd. 3 overs for 9 runs from him. So again, very economical today. And the overs are quickly running out here for the Premium Aussies, who are 48 for 6 with 7 overs left.
Oh, there's that sky we're talking about. Complete sea of clouds. But luckily, they haven't broken yet. And Imran Khan is going to continue. He looks a very happy captain.
Well, Asad Rafiq is going to have a swing at Imran Khan here. Imran Khan tossing it up slow and wide outside the off stump. Rafiq trying to go through the leg side. Imran Khan goes slower this time. Pulls the length back. Rafiq opts for the slug sweep but doesn't make any contact. This is going to be an interesting battle this over, as Asad Rafiq is going to try and take down Imran Khan, as he knows the overs are quickly slipping away from him. And with the required rate now at 11s, he's going to try and hit a few boundaries, which is going to provide Imran Khan with the opportunity to potentially grab another wicket here. Kian Otley at slip signal to Imran Khan. Just hang it a bit wider, skipper.
No, he's ready. He's waiting. Well, the 50 is up.
Now he's telling him to go for an arm ball, but he's gone slower this time. And this one has disappeared over the long on boundary.
Well, it seemed to hang in the air for eternity, and the fielder, for a moment out there, Sheldon Cottrell, was watching it thinking perhaps it was going to drop, and it just kept climbing.
Well, he's gone. Gone this time. Imran Khan throwing it up again. Almighty swing ended up in the hands of Kian Otley at slip. And that's the 7th wicket down for the premium Aussies here today. This run chase has never looked like getting off the ground for them. Score now at 49 for 7.
That'll bring Sanchit Sandhu to the middle. He just gave it that extra bit of flight, tempting him to go back over the top and into the hands of Otley. He didn't even have to move. Well, Sanchit Sandhu comes to the middle. It's been a very sorry tale for the Aussies.
Well, I don't think Imran Khan will mind that, conceding a 6 to get a wicket. Most bowlers around the world will accept that. And Imran Khan this time goes straight through. Sandhu left his gate open and Imran Khan walked in. Bowled.
Well, it's 2-2 for Imran Khan, and he's been having a fine tournament so far, and it's continued in the same vein today. And this is just now a procession to victory for Imran Khan and his team. The Americans, they weren't particularly explosive with the bat, but they did enough to get that 123 on the board, and it's put the pressure on the Aussies. They took early wickets, they've taken regular wickets, and they've been really economical, and that's just through the gate. And the death rattle was all that Sanchit Sandhu could hear. So this over, ... 6 wicket. So at the beginning of his next over, Imran Khan will be on a hat-trick as it stands. 14 overs gone. The Aussies 56 for 8. So 6 overs still to come, or can these 2 wickets go? We can almost confidently dismiss the other option that they might chase this down.
Well, we thought that in the first match. Hayden Walsh Jr. put on a spectacular display of hitting. Unfortunately for the Premium Windies there, they fell 1 run short. Will we see something similar to that from the Premium Aussies? We'll have to wait and see. But Amir Hotap back into the attack. 3 for 7 from him. And he would have said to his skipper, Skipper, I want a chance of getting a 5-wicket haul to get me back on with 2 wickets left.
Well, he's got 2 deliveries to try and grab it now.
Tosses this one up. Deceives the batter in flight, but straight on through to the keeper.
No, run.
Well, it's a very happy looking bowler. 3 for 8. 1 to come from him. And it's Usman Tariq facing up. We saw him leave the field earlier with pain to the jaw, but he seems all right. He's come back out. He's got a helmet on now. That's what you need when your jaw's in pain. Just cover it up, hide it from the ball. He's facing up for the first time today. And he's off the mark.
Well, you see the groundsman getting ready to pull the covers. So I'm not sure how much more cricket we're going to have here. But either way, Premium USA will be victors if rain comes now, as they're well ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis requirements. 15 overs gone, 8 wickets down. Premium Aussies would have needed to be at 106. Imran Khan to continue.
Well, can he wrap this up? Or will they be wrapped up under those covers if they stay out there much longer? I'm never really quite sure what kind of discussion you're having at this point. Out in the middle, the 2 batters. Don't really know what more there is to be said. He's giving it that bit more flight again, Imran Khan. And that's just well played, kept down and past the diving Otley at slip. Who then has to take evasive action as the ball's almost chucked into the back of his head. It's gone up in the air. Fielder coming round. He makes good yardage. And Erasmus makes no mistake. And that's 9 wickets down. Usman Tariq looking to try and just finish with a flourish. But in the end, he has to go for 2. And Imran Khan has a 4th. So the Aussies 60 for 9. And it is all but over.
Here's another look at that dismissal. Imran Khan tossing it up on middle stump, man it long off, get out Erasmus running around and taking a good running catch. Had some work to do and got there quite early, settled onto that one. And the man, Usman Tariq, has been dismissed. Imran Khan now 4 wickets, so he'll be eyeing up another 5-wicket haul here. Back-to-back 5-wicket hauls.
Well, what a tournament he is having.
Do you want him back? Come in. Let him hit. Try it. No, he can't. I said this guy don't hit. I don't think hit shot. No, they said he doesn't hit. Come on.
Slip in again. Well, Imran Khan is absolutely loving his time in American Premier League Season 2, currently captaining the side today. And that's wrapped on the pad. And he thought maybe that was his 5th.
Well, that's the end of Imran Khan's 3rd over. 4 for 14 from him. Premium Aussies 61 for 9. A scoreline and a match very similar to the first encounter of the day, where we saw Premium Windies take on Premium Afghans. Premium Windies also ended up in a position where they were 69 for 9. Managed to fight back and only lost that match by 1 run. Are we going to see something as spectacular here this afternoon from the Premium Aussies batters? A lot more to do with a lot less time in hand. They've got to get 63 runs with only 4 overs remaining, so it's going to be some enterprising batting if they do. And we'll be here to guide you through the next possible 4 overs of this match.
Well, only 3 coming off the first of Badr Shabir's overs, and 3 off this one would not get them anywhere near these Aussies, so they're going to have to take him on. Again, Otley in there at slip. That required rate up at over 16. And the good news is that no matter what happens today, we will still be bringing you more cricket tomorrow. There's another double header. Another double header tomorrow. Well, the first one up tomorrow is the one cricket fans all over the world always waiting for. The Indians taking on the Paks. And is that put down by Otley? Oh, so the Premium Indians versus the Prem Paks first thing tomorrow. And then in the afternoon, well, the Canadians have arrived to the party and they'll be taking on the Aussies.
Well, that's 17 overs gone. 63 for 9. Required rate now up to 20. And with Imran Khan in the kind of form that he's in, it's going to be interesting to see whether he can clinch another 5-wicket haul and wrap this game up in this over, or if the Premium Aussies can somehow do something spectacular and snatch this.
He's gone for the scoop, struck on the pad, and that is the game. The Premium Americans, led by that man again, Imran Khan. He's got back-to-back 5-wicket hauls now, and it only took him 3.1 overs. Well, it seemed like it was on the cards for quite a while that the Americans were going to win this game, and they have won it convincingly, bowling the Aussies all out for 63, just over 17 overs, and the Premium Americans win by 60 runs, and they're all being swept off the field as the covers come on. Players running in all directions, players helping out with the covers, but it's been a convincing win by the Americans. Finished off by the captain, Imran Khan. They managed to score 123 in their 20 overs, And there was never really a time the Aussies looked like they were in it or getting back into it at all. The dark skies come over and it's a dark prospect for the Aussies. They've played 3, they've lost 3. And it's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the tournament. High fives all round from the coach with his team, the Americans, winning by 60 runs, a huge margin of victory. And again, Imran Khan, 5 wickets for him.
Thank you.
Well, 2 very different games in the end, both opening innings scoring 123. The Windies so nearly got home earlier, losing just by 1 run. Well, this afternoon, the Americans did it a different way, winning by 60 runs over the Australians. And that's a very sorry tale. Just the 1 batter and the extras making it into double figures. You know you've had a bad day with the bat when the second highest run scorer is the extras column. Only Shams Arifin making it into double figures, 13 to him. And they were all over them, the American bowlers. And as you see, 3 for Hamza Hotak. He really got it started. And then Imran Khan again. And that's back-to-back 5s for him. And then just the 1 to Shabir Ali. So all bowled out for 63, losing by 60 runs. Well, the Americans, they've had a good day out. They've won by 60 runs. And I believe the player of the match now gets to join Roshni to have a chat.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. It's been a great day of cricket. It was a Premium Americans versus the Premium Aussies, and Premium Americans take this by a big one, by 60 runs. Join with me is the man of the match, Imran Khan, with his 5-wicket haul. Skipper, how did it feel? I mean, the way the boys performed, and especially about your performance.
First of all, let me say thanks to Almighty. Without him, nothing is possible. Yeah, it's always good to be on the winning side. The team has been playing really good. I think the boys stick to the plan, and we came out on top.
And I think about the runs, you guys had a good total. I know it was, wickets were falling, but you got to a pretty good total. What was the discussion in that mid-innings?
Yeah, I think, once you bat out the overs and you get a good score, I think, the wicket has been up and down a bit. But, as long as you bowl the correct areas, I think it'll be difficult to score. And I think the bowlers execute their plans perfectly and, we end up on top.
And I think, the bowling unit that you have, with yourself, Asad, everyone's been doing really well and doing their part.
Yeah, no credit must be going to the bowling unit. I think everyone execute their plan and, a lot of hard work has been put in and I think they're getting their rewards.
And lastly, another, win coming in after a few days off, so how important was that?
Yeah, we are all professionals, we have to step up when the time has come and, the rest is good, but, it's all about that momentum going into the other game. So, not much rest, but, it's all good to get the rest.
Well, all the best and congratulations on your performance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, back-to-back 5s and back-to-back man of the match for him. And this is the story of the day. The USA winning it by 60 runs. It was a procession to victory in the end. They put 123 on the board, and we thought that was probably going to be enough, and it easily was. Only 1 of the Aussie batters making it into double figures. Imran Khan ripping through that batting lineup. 5 for him, 3 for Amir, and the USA winning it by 60 runs. Well, that's it from us today. We'll be back tomorrow with more action. Up first, the Premium Indians taking on the Premium Packs. And in the afternoon, the Christmas Eve game, the Canadians versus the Aussies. Have a good night and we'll see you tomorrow.
Live and exclusive on Supreme TV and Supreme TV YouTube.